Hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the Brothers for another exciting episode. Myself, Charles, and Brent. We would like to start the show off by saying thank you so much for those guys who have viewed our show, the 200 plus people. We ask that you continue to tune in. We got more exciting things to talk about and bring to our community. We're going to be talking about today an interesting question, I do believe, Brent.
Very interesting. And also, for those who have tuned in, please spread the word. Spread the word about the show. Pass it along to your friends, co-workers, anybody in your immediate circle.
Thank you for that. Our second show, I think what we had said we were going to discuss was America's perspective of the black male, and as an aside, or to piggyback off of that, our view of ourselves in America. Wanted to start the show off by saying, at least in my perspective, the current view of America towards us has changed. And I'm going to go back in time, and it's not going to be what you're thinking. The view of black Americans in this country changed on September the 11th, the date in which the World Trade Centers were bombed.
So I got to ask you how.
Because for the first time in America, black people were not suspect number one. If you will notice, at that time in our country, people who were of Arabic descent, who were of Indian descent, Pakistani, what have you, that group of individuals, American individuals, got to feel what it was like for us for hundreds and hundreds of years.
You think so?
I definitely believe so.
Even in our communities.
Even in
like
our
you think,
communities.
and we're in Atlanta, Georgia. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to just say, I don't know, what's a public housing project in Atlanta? Give me one.
Bowen Home.
Okay, Bowen Home. So do you think after September 11th, the environment in Bowen Homes, as far as the police was concerned, as far as the city of Atlanta was concerned, as far as the housing authority was concerned, do you think that their perspective on black Americans changed any?
I think that immediately following that event, when I say immediately following, I'm talking about, the week to a month that preceded or that came thereafter. Okay, I think that in projects, rural America, major city America, even in suburbs, the views of black Americans by others in this country truly was changed. Now, I'm not going to say it didn't revert back. I'm not going out to that level.
I gotta disagree with you. Maybe on the federal level, but not as far as state and local policy is concerned. I don't think it made a bit of difference in the world.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Maybe on the federal level. Maybe because they realized that was an element that they had to deal with.
Well, the focus of the state and the local government somewhat shifted immediately following it. Did you not notice that there was an influx of racial profiling towards Indian Americans during that time? During that first week to month? I'm not going to even extend it further than that 30 days, but the shift
you had somewhat changed. I think there was an incident down in South Georgia where a lady down in South Georgia overheard a group of Arabs talking about September 11th in the diner or whatever.
Exactly.
Next thing you know, you have the FBI circling on this diner. And I don't know. It was a small town in South Georgia.
Their travel on airplanes was common straight to our trying to drive a car in a white neighborhood. They got to feel what it was like to be black.
Okay.
They did. Okay. But at any rate, we digress. We want to talk about what is it, at least from our perspective, what is it that white America sees us as today and what they have seen us as in the past. And as we were starting out, that was the catalyst, I believe, for at least for them seeing us not as being all criminals at every moment of every waking day. I think that was a catalyst. Now, what brings us up to speed for 2008, the running of the black man for president, Barack Obama. We're not going to delve off into it too much, but I definitely believe that just that event in and of itself has done more, if not has been the greatest thing to could have happened to black males in America.
True.
I just truly believe that has changed a vast majority of white Americans and others' views of black America. Because prior to Barack Obama, the stereotype that has lagged and continues to still have a strong effect in our community was that we were, shiftless, that we didn't want to go to work, that we abused our wives, we didn't want to take care of our kids. The list is endless. We already know what they are because if you're watching the show in black and male, you know what they are. But in my opinion, I think that since in my lifespan, which is 35 years, I have seen us go from being the black proud people or the group of people who were American but still outside the door. You understand what I mean? Outside the door to the American dream, the American belief. We were still outsiders. But in the 35 years that I've been alive, I've been able to see a progression about white people towards black people in this country. Because as I stated, I believe on the first show, I honestly believe that those of us who were born in the 70s were the first true generation of black people to be born to not be subjected to
Jim Crow law, segregation.
Exactly right. Okay. Now, I want you to get in here, man, because the people want to know what Britt has to say, because you're like the conservative out of the two of us. Because you know, my thing is the white man is always on our back with their foot. Okay, my bad.
What I'm saying, okay, that image that you talk about black Americans being you know, lazy or shiftless or not taking care of their children or abusive toward their woman, the whole misogynistic thing or whatever, how much of that can be directly attributed to what we put out there in the mainstream? How much of those images are actually being created by ourselves? And I hate to, I know this will probably be a topic for a further show, and it's a topic for a show by itself, but I hate to say it, hip-hop music.
Okay.
A lot of times, those are the images that we put out there of ourselves.
Well, now the question is, are we truly putting those images out there?
Yes, we are.
Or, hold up, wait.
Yes, we are. Wait. It's not even a cause for debate. I mean,
yes, it is.
Okay, go ahead.
Are we just in and of ourselves putting those images out there? Or are those the images that the people who control the media are allowing to be put forth to the masses? That's truly the question that you have to ask yourself.
Those are the images that we're putting out there, man. Those are the images that we're putting out there. And those are the images that we're putting out there, period. They are, man. When you hear people talk about, you know, hip hop and rap and this and that, what's popular? What type of hip hop and rap is really truly popular? It's gonna sell 3-4 million records. It's gonna make those record labels say, you know what? This is a profitable industry. If I feel comfortable investing $2 million in this artist because I know I'm gonna see a return.
Okay.
And it seems like that's what the people want to hear.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. What drives that very thing? What people want to hear? Are you saying that we are putting forth only kind of music that people in our culture want to hear is music about going to the club, riding on big rims, I smoked a pound of perp, I got about 4-5 baby daddies. Is that what you're saying our culture wants to hear? That's all they want to hear?
It seems like it.
It seems like it.
And I'm not saying, you know, every individual out there, every black person out there, that's all they care about and that's what they want to hear. Because there are other people out there that are putting out different types of hip hop, different types of music, and I don't want to spend too much time on that.
What makes the people say that's what I want to listen to? I'm going to leave that question there. Now, what I want to ask you is this. Given that you're saying that hip hop is influencing, or the hip hop that is mainstream is influencing our culture, how then does that influence relate to America's perspective of us?
Because that's what's out there. That's when you turn on the television, that's what you see. That's what you see. That image is what you see. So that is what when a white person who may have never spent any time with a black person like yourself, you know, when they come from an isolated environment, a whites only environment, they turn on the television.
Somebody from Iowa.
Somebody from Iowa.
None against people in Iowa. I'm just saying, it's not a lot of us in Iowa.
Really white, Maine, Vermont.
There you go.
For that reason.
If it's 6 brothers in Vermont, please watch the show and email me, because I want to know all y'all, brother.
Let's not isolate Iowa. Let's say Iowa, Maine, Vermont, a lot of New England states,
North Dakota,
Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota.
Yeah.
You know, there are not a lot of brothers in those states.
That's
all right. So when they turn on the television and they see a brother, that's what they're looking at. So of course that's going to influence their perspective of us, and that's the image that we're putting out there in a lot of cases.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that that's the only type of rap that's out there. There's gospel rap out there. There's your positive consciousness rap. But what's popular and what's generating money it seems to be that type of hip hop. That's what's doing, and that's what's influencing. I think. I mean, and not just in this country. in other countries. You know, someone in Senegal or someone in Nigeria. When they turn on the television, that's what they see when they see a black American.
So they're trying to get a big chain and a pound of perp, huh?
I think so, bro.
And some Patron.
I think so. I think so.
Well, I'm like this, man. I think that, again, hip-hop culture is probably the biggest view of black America throughout the world. And I will